then if your success, by contrast, equals their failure. In other words, if you succeed to this level, now by contrast, they ain't doing so well. So if they can kind of pull you down and say, whoa, 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 why are you getting ahead of yourself here? And kind of pull you back into the set, then maybe they don't look so bad, and then they don't have to spend too much effort in trying to improve themselves all the time. But remember, the Jones effect, where you're always trying to keep up with your neighbors, is an effect always in social peer groups. If you want to change your performance in any area, just like you would with tennis, play with someone who's better than you, play with someone worse or the same level, you ain't going to improve. One of the things I always test myself on in this area is, who can I spend time with as a completely different mindset to me? In other words, has completely different expectations. And I'll try and gravitate my time, and it used to be in the early days, to people that were producing between 1 and 10 million a year. And I thought if I could just spend time with people like that, I'd start to understand the expectations of life they have. If they went in debt for 2 million, they wouldn't care, because their goal at the end of the year was 10. So dipping down into 2 really didn't matter. Now, by the average man in the street, going into debt 2 million would fry their mind. But for this person, it's not a big deal, because in their expectation and game plan is 10. So they're certainly playing a game at a high level. I thought, boy, if I can just spend time with those people, I know I will become like them. Because whoever we spend our time with, we obviously then mimic and become very similar to. So the real first goal is, if we know that we're living in the belief system which hasn't been supporting us, we haven't been building up a residual income. If you can't leave your job for 6 months and survive, you haven't got an investment background. If you can't live off residual from your investments for at least 6 months, take a sabbatical, you know you haven't got that game sorted out. You're living hand to mouth. However much you're spending and making per month, if it doesn't allow you to take 6 months off and breathe, right, you haven't mastered or even started in the investment game. So that's really what we're going to really look at doing. First of all, how do we adopt the right mindset to allow us to do that? Well, the first thing we've got to do is, what do we understand ourselves to be currently? What belief systems have we been holding on to, and have they been controlling us? For those of you watching via video, I'd like you to download the practical that we've started now on psychology, and you'll notice these are the questions I want you to look at. First of all, what has been your perception about investing or trading in the past? Now, this can be a perception that you've held on to for a long time. Most of our beliefs are structured around references, referential experiences that we've adopted from other people. Starts with our parents, then it becomes our teachers, then it becomes our peer group, and then finally it becomes our work colleagues. That's generally how our peer groups form in life, as well as having obviously friends on the outside. But people who are influence, or who act as influence over us, starts with the dominant force, which is mum and dad generally, and then it becomes the teachers, and then it becomes our peer groups in secondary and tertiary education, and then of course it becomes our senior managers and our work colleagues in the employment place. What have they believed? Because whatever they've believed, they will obviously force upon to you, and therefore what have you picked up on? So what I'd like you to do, for those of you watching via video, and what the team certainly have done here in the will now be doing here in the studio audience, is what has been our perception about investing or trading in the past. So we want to figure out where are we coming from. Let's really identify that and be really honest about this. The most honesty we give to this section will be in direct proportion to the results we're going to get out of the back end. If you want to lie to yourself at this point, the results you're going to get are going to be 10% of what could be achievable. What happens to you when you become a successful trader or investor? In other words, what do you get? Because there's no point in just doing this for blind faith. What is the end result? We really want to focus on that in the middle part. And this should be, if you're somebody who's really motivated by having toys, or being able to give beyond yourself, or have great objects of desire, or give to a charity, whatever those things are for you personally and individually. And really make sure you pick the things that are on your terms. And then ultimately, what will it cost you in the future if you don't start investing or trading actively? For those of you watching via video, please download this section now. Take some time out on your own, just 10 minutes, and that could be a great turning point for you. Okay, we've had some time in the studio audience for some of the people to go through some of those answers now. Does anybody here in the audience want to share maybe some of the mindset they've had in the past about investing or trading? Maybe we can look at that and have a discussion. Anybody here? Yeah, okay, Tony, go for it.
I always looked upon investing as it'll get me what I wanted. Like you said, I wouldn't actually, I wanted to retire early, and I wouldn't do that just off a basic salary unless I got really lucky in life.
Yep.
I looked upon investing as shares, and that's what I've done up until recently. I would have thought trading was dangerous because I don't understand it. Like you said, it'll lose me a lot of money because I don't understand it. But I guess I always wanted to, which is what gets me here now. Having enough time and probably to go and learn, because I was too busy working. It's my own mindset.
Yeah, cool. So would it be fair to say that the priority was certainly what you're currently making, and what you'd made the investing or trading, whatever number, or even if you hadn't assigned a numerical value to it, it had been deprioritized to a smaller level. Now, the reason I ask that question is when I meet a lot of people and I'm at an event or something, and I'll be at a trading competition, or someone will come up to me and say hi, and I'll say hi, and they'll say, I'm really interested in doing this. Stuff looks amazing. I'll say, that's great. Do you know how much money you want to make? And they all say to me, no. And I always say, well, what about if you did know? And they say to me, well, if I did know, I don't know. And
I set a business plan, if you like, for what I wanted to achieve, and my wife and I wanted to achieve in our early 20s, which was at about 50.
Yep.
I've actually retired, if you like, but at 46. But now I want more. You know, I can survive on what I've earned through ordinary investing, but
yep.
I have a desire to much more of that and have other luxuries.
That's great. So you've got to the ultimate goal setter's dilemma, which is as soon as you get to the goal, you want to set a new one.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, great. So for you now, this is all about understanding how to increase the shorter term income and really crank it up.
Yeah.
What happens if you get it?
What would I do with it?
Yeah, what do you get?
I get luxury holidays, luxury cars, things that I've all sort of put out of the plan up until now. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm 46, and if I get another 46 years, I'd like to have what I would call throwaway money.
Brilliant.
But I can just do what I want when I want.
So we're really looking at the difference between being financially independent for you, which you currently are, to financially free. And the difference between the two of financial independence is, hey, you know what? My bills are covered.
Yeah, I don't
Financial
have to think
freedom
about it.
is, yeah, and I can have what I want.
Yeah, I just within sensible limits, I just go do it. I don't think about it. I don't have to sort of plan it too much.
Great stuff. What happens if you don't bother doing this? What happens if you give up?
I would be
you know, you get into the manana.
extremely annoyed with myself. Mm-hmm. You know, once I set a goal, then I want to achieve it. So it's a real personal success thing.
Can Tony deal with being extremely annoyed with myself, I think was the comment, was that right? Can he live with that, yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, of course he can, of course he can. Have you ever been extremely annoyed with yourself in the past?
Yes.
Of course, and you got through it, you're still here. He's 46 and he's reached financial independence, which means he's in the top 5 to 10% of the country, literally. Most people will retire broke. Most people in the country will. Most people will retire very uncomfortable, will either have to do some extra work, particularly now people are living longer. We're retiring, aren't we, at 70 years old now in the UK? Why is that? Well, because we just simply we don't have a welfare system, pensions are pretty much worthless, and therefore we're having to generate income now in our later life, right? Most people haven't done the sensible steps of becoming financially independent. However, you want more, and it's fair to say you could have been financially free 10 years ago too.
Yes.
So there was something that's holding you back, which was, well, maybe there's, and I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but maybe there was some risk attached there, or maybe I wasn't ready for it, or maybe I was just busy doing what I was doing, which was producing the money you were making when you were doing your job. So the priority was here. Does everyone follow me? Because if you want to achieve the shorter term, higher income stream, whilst you would not expect it to happen instantaneously week one, but certainly over the first 2 or 3 years, if we prioritize it to the same level, is it likely we're going to hit not just financial independence, but financial freedom earlier, yes or no?
Yeah.
And the answer is absolutely. But here's the real key thing. In the middle section, as you can see on your diagram, we've said what happens when we become a successful investor and trader. Here we've really got to dress this up. I mean, if we can't define some clear deliverables, what the things that we really want, and let me be very clear here. This is where you've got to define your life on your own terms. Most of us live our life on other people's terms. We buy the cars we think other people think they would like to be driving. We wear the clothes other people like. And we don't buy the things and drive the things and do the things that we actually like, you know?